Damn it. Forgot the most important thing. Let's go. Alright, what's up? I wanted to actually show you guys this. This is very, very basic. And if you're not doing this, I highly suggest you do, whether you do it the old school way or the new school way and track in your phone. But I track every single one of my training sessions. So here you can see, here it is. So I write the training session, usually the body part that I'm training, the date, my body weight, and then the exercises. I put my warm up, and as I go through, I'll put details. And I've been doing this for God knows how long. Like this is a 5-subject notebook, and it's just like filled with workouts, multiple. I try to keep it as detailed as I can sanely keep it, and try to refer back to old training sessions as much as I can. This is a good way to keep track of PRs. Obviously, you're gonna know the important ones off the top of your head, but for the small stuff, like, I don't know, like leg extensions or incline dumbbell curls, stuff that you wouldn't really remember, it's good to look back, refer back to maybe the last time you did that exercise if you changed it, or the last time you PR'd in it, and you can make sure you're pushing yourself or trying to set new PRs. Also, I want to show you a little bit of my mobility routine. I always start with mobility. It just gets me feeling good, gets the joints and the muscles or whatever, everything stretched out. I sit at work all day, so it's a good way to prep for a training session, then go into my dynamic warm-up right after that. All right, welcome back to another voiceover. I really want to go over my mobility routine really quick. So for my lower body training days, I go pretty hard on lower body mobility. I have tight hips. I sit in an office all day. In my opinion, it's just really good for me to stretch out my hip flexors first and foremost. I either do this banded hip extension or the couch stretch, and I kind of alternate between these two. Sometimes I'll do one before I train and the other one after. And I find that this is really good for stretching out my hips and getting rid of any type of tightness before a training session. And hip extension is really important. You want to be able to achieve full hip extension when you're doing any type of sprint movement or jump movement. Then you see me doing the banded hip floss, and I do this a couple ways. I can do it like this, and the way I do it in this video is you'll see me just doing like extending my knee and kind of flossing my knee in and out. I had a hamstring pull a number of years ago, and since I started doing this, I've been clear of injury ever since, and my hamstrings feel good. Then I go on to the calf mobilization, and this is just standard classic calf mobilization, just trying to stretch out my calf. I have tight calves, I have tight ankles, and I usually hit this one from a number of different angles. It's a money bags star in the book for me because it really loosens up my ankles, makes my Achilles feel good, and closes down on my ankle, gives me a little bit extra range, which is very important for jumping. Then last but not least, I don't always do this one, and I really started doing it, and I found that I need to do it more often, is the hip external rotation and flexion. This is kind of like pigeon pose in yoga. I do it because it really kind of loosens up my glutes and my hip rotators, and I just feel like that's a good thing to do before. I try not to really stretch a whole lot before I train, but I need to be able to be mobile enough for my training sessions so I can get into the positions and create the angles that I want to create. Then getting into the training session, starting with the dynamic warm-up, all the standard stuff I've been doing, just sticking to the script, keeping it light and easy, you know. Minimum effective dose here for the dynamic warm-up I think is awesome, because then I get into falling starts with a med ball, and I don't think I'm doing these very well, and I'm gonna tell you why. I have such a hard time with where my foot lands on my first couple steps, and this is why I think that I don't know if wall drives get a bad rap for this, but when I land, my heel, not my heel, almost my toe should only be the only thing that touches the ground, and I should almost be like applying the force as my knee is up, like trying to push straight down. So when my knee's up, it's going down to just basically drive myself. And I am just straight up terrible at that. I think if I get that down, it'll make my start so much better, and it will take literally 2 or 3 tenths away. I really think that on my 40, but I don't know if that's why a lot of coaches say not to do wall drives, because when you do wall drives, you're not taking a step forward, so you're not landing with your foot underneath your hip or slightly in front of it, I guess. And that, I guess that's why like you don't land with your foot in behind you, and that's usually what wall drives teach. Wall drives are good for teaching a body lean, I think that, but I also think that they're probably not bad in application for just like making the mental connection to just have that knee driving straight down. I don't know if I would exactly punch all the way back like that. I don't know. I don't do them, but maybe it's like worth a try. I don't know, but I definitely think the sled pushes, the prowler sled pushes, are totally king over that exercise, because it's the same thing except you're moving, so, and you're pushing something heavy, so getting more of like a power stimulus or component in there. So that was kind of my thoughts on that. Need to get better. Then went to the sideways jump back sprints for 30 yards. This is one that just feels good, just in the program, like doing it. And then went on to my all-time favorite, which is the medicine ball Viking toss, depth jump to med ball toss. And this is just a movement that it just makes me feel explosive before going into my dunks. Particularly not a bad low rim dunk day. Actually felt good. I really did a lot of dunks on this day and was really trying to switch it up, because I usually come from the other angle, so I was trying to take the approach from the opposite side and really trying to go off my off leg like in past weeks, but trying to kind of push the limits in terms of going off my off leg and a higher rim. So as I increased it, I was trying to go up more off of my right or off of my right left gather. Ooh. My first two-hand ever on that height. Was able to get the two-hand, which was nice. And then, yeah, see, going off my right and doing a single leg dunk has never been easier. And just finished off with overall a pretty good session. So that's the voiceover for today. Let's go. That last one was a flush. Ending on that. Fired up about this, especially after kind of a higher volume-ish training session. I'm gonna cut it here, end on a high note, and I will see you in the next video. So that's it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.